Hello, and this is another video for Digital Diamond Baseball. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up custom images for your libraries. I'm going to start with the logos for teams, and I'll show you the simplest way to do this isn't the simplest way actually, but the first way to add logos to your teams. If you go to the team editor, you can see there are default logos specified for various teams. And what you can do is you can go to edit on a particular team, click here to browse your Digital Diamond data files folder, and there's a folder called logos, and in that folder comes with a bunch of default logos. These are the ones you're seeing right here with the teams, but I've created a new folder called My Logos, and in there I put a photo for Philadelphia, a logo for Philadelphia. So I'm going to choose that one, and you can see it's displaying that one, and I say OK, and there it is. We have a logo. Now the problem with this is that you'd have to get logos for every single team in the library, and you'd have to do that for every library, and that's a lot of work. So this will work, but there's a faster way you can get this done, and that's by using the auto search feature that we have, which you can tell Digital Diamond Baseball where to look for logos, and it will automatically connect them with these various teams. So we'll show you how to do that next. So in order to take advantage of the auto searching for logos, the first thing you want to do is go to your library options. And in there you'll see there's a logo option. And here I put the name of a folder that I have in my logos folder in Digital Diamond Baseball's data files. And I set the auto logo search to true. And what this will do is it'll have the game will search in this folder. Because I set this to true, the game will search in this folder for logos that follow a naming convention that will let it match up those logos with specific teams. So here is that My Logos folder, and notice it's inside the Logos folder in Digital Diamond data files. So the folder you create has to be inside the data files folder, and it has to be inside the Logos folder. And I put it there, and it's called My Logos. And in there I put one logo. The logo is following a name convention where the three-letter name happens to be the three-letter abbreviation for the Philadelphia Phillies. And if you use the three-letter tag here for the team, it will be able to match that logo up with the team Philadelphia in this library. So if we take a look here at the teams, you'll see that Philadelphia does in fact have their logo there because it automatically found it. All right, so let's just test this out again here. Here is Montreal, and you see Montreal does not have a logo either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the main menu, and I'm going to go take a look at my folder, and I'm going to add a logo to my logos for Montreal. So there it is. And again, it follows the convention of using the three-letter tag for that team. So with these options set up the way we have it set up, it should look in this folder then for a Montreal logo, and it should use that. So let's try that out and see if I go to the team editor and we look at Montreal, and sure enough, Montreal now has a logo. So theoretically, not theoretically, but truthfully, if you add a logo for everyone whose three-letter tag matches that team, it will automatically find all of these. And here are those three-letter tags. So if you find them all, then it will, if you find logos for all of these and name them properly and set up those options, they'll automatically show up for all of your teams. And you say, well, you might think, well, that's a lot of work to do all that. And the answer is, it is, but you only have to do it once, because for all of your other libraries that you have these teams, these logos will show up automatically going forward if you create them for the one-time shot. Now, the other good news about this is that customers have already jumped in here and created some logo packs that you can get on our customer forum. I can't provide them as part of the game, but the customers have been sharing them. And if you get one of those packs, you can get all the logos without any work at all. So if we take a look here, here is a folder that you can get on there from our customer forum that has all of the logos for every year for every team. And the auto searching feature not only looks for the first 3 letters in the tag, but if you add a range of dates, it'll pick the right logo for the right time, for the right year. For example, if it's between 1998 and 2006, it'll use this Diamondbacks logo. And if it's between 2000 and 2011, 2007 and 2011, it'll pick this one. And if there's one that's not in that range, it'll pick the generic one, Arizona. So this will find it, and it'll even use the year of your library to pick the right one for the year. So let's see if we can set this up and get it to work. Again, we're inside the logos folder of the data files folder. And inside here, it's the team logo folder that has these. So now that we have them in the team logo folder, we should be able to go to our options and change this to use the team logo folder that we just saw. And keep this set to true so it does the auto search. Now that that's done, let's take a look at our team editor. And bam, every single one of these is set. And that'll be true for every single season library you install, because there's a logo for every team and for every year in that folder. And you just have to go to our customer forum to get that collection. And that's how to do logos for Digital Diamond Baseball. Next up, we're going to do, let's do next the player pictures. So let's hop on over here to the library options again. And there's an option here for player pictures right here. And there's the first thing you would want to set up, which is the subfolder that's going to contain these pictures. And if you look here in Digital Diamond Baseball's data files, right here, you'll see that like we had a logo folder, we also have a player pics folder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a player photo right here for Steve Avery in the 1993 folder in player pics. So because it's in the subfolder 1993, I'll put 1993 here, and that's where it's going to look. And now the question is, what file names is it going to look for? The first thing it'll look for is any pictures that match the player's first name, followed by their last name, followed by the 3-letter tag for the team that they play on. That can also be the full team name as well. And if you look, I'm following that pattern. So Steve's the first name, last name is Avery, and then here's the tag for the team, Atlanta. So theoretically, if I set this up to look at 1993, with this pattern, it will find that picture and it should show up. Notice you can have second and third backup patterns. So if it doesn't find one using this, it will look for just first, last here, and the same for the second backup, but that could be something else. Let's see if that worked by putting the picture in the right place, player pics 1993, specifying 1993 subfolder, and I have a picture pattern that matches the file name, first, last, and team. Let's see if that works. Say okay, I'll jump over to the view rosters, and we'll take a look at Steve Avery, and you can see there is his picture. If that doesn't if it doesn't show up, one thing to do is to bring up the player popper and click on the picture. This shows you everything it's looking for. And there's several attempts, and this is what it's looking for. And it did, in fact, find one right here, as we expected, and that's why it shows up. Sometimes the images are cached, and the image may be there and it may be correct, but it just the cache needs to be cleared. So sometimes you may not see the picture, but if you click on the picture, it'll show up. But if you think you've got everything right and you clicked on this and it's still not showing up, this will show you exactly what it's looking for. And you can check this folder to see if you have the file that it's looking for. If it's not showing up, the odds are you don't have that correct. Maybe you spelled the name wrong or something. And this little dialog box helps you debug that and figure out why your player pictures aren't showing up. Okay, so that's how you can do that for player pics. Now, once again, our customer community has stepped up here and is sharing a lot of really nice player picture packs that you can get for pretty much every season out there. So if you go to the customer forum and you ask around, I'm sure you'll find packs of player pictures from what you were looking for. For example, here's the 2001 season, and this one has first name, last name, team, and then year in part of its search tag. And this one is the kind of thing you can find online. So if you wanted this one to work, you would just enter 2001 for the player picture subfolder. But we'd have to do something about this name on the end, and I'll show you what you can do about that. Just go back to the library options, look at the player pictures, and you would add underscore year here. And sure enough, it'll find those pictures for you. If this were the 2001 library, you would do this and add the year, and that would work. Okay, so you can get those player pictures for entire seasons, and with a little editing of these options and putting them in the right location, you can have all the player pictures for your library. Okay, one more thing to look at is how to add custom ballpark images. And just like the player pictures and the logos, there's a folder in your data files, V12 folder, and it's called ballparks. And inside there, I've added a new ballpark picture that I found that I thought was cool, and I called it test, and I want to use it for one of my teams. So I go to the ballpark editor, and you'll see there are pictures for these already, but if you have one that you like better that you want to put somewhere, you can. So let's put it here as the Cleveland Stadium, just for fun. And let's go find that ballpark. So we have to go to the ballpark folder, and let's find the one that I want to do. Here I have it called a test. You see I picked it and I put it in there, and I'm going to put it for the night image as well, because I only have one picture there. We'll use it for night and day. And there you are. You're almost done being able to use those pictures. We'll say OK, and you should see it show up for Cleveland. The next thing you want to do is you have to add the layout to show where the players show up on these pictures. So we click on Edit Layout. And here's that picture. But look, my players are all scattered all everywhere. So I'm going to start with the pitcher, and I'm going to click where I want the pitcher to be. Then I'll go to the catcher, and I'll click where I want the catcher to be. And then I'll go to the first baseman and click where I want him to be, right there, and second base, and then third base. And you can see I can do this for all of the players here. Oops, I forgot about shortstop. And then let's do left field, center field, right field. And then we got to do the base runners. So the runner, actually the batters first. Here's the right-handed batter. Here's the left-handed batter. And then we'll do the runners, base runners first, second, and third. And then you've got all of your positions set up. And you're all set. You can do a save here. And now those, when you have the game, when you play a game with this park, the players will show up properly in their positions. You don't have to do the day one. If you did the night one, it will copy it over. And then if you wanted to have two parks, you could enter the one for the day. If I go back here, you might find the first time you play with this that maybe the runner on second is getting long and colliding with the runner at second base. And you might have to fix that. So you might go to runner on second, and you might want to put him a little bit further down to make sure he doesn't collide. So you might have to come back and change it just to fine tune them once you play a game. And that's how you can add ballpark images and the locations of the players for any team you want in your library. So that sums up adding custom images to your Digital Diamond Baseball libraries. And again, be sure to take advantage of the customer forum, because there's a lot of good, helpful advice there, but also some really good images that are being shared. Cheers.